guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today I want to talk about a movie. It's not really much of a newer movie, this is kind of an older movie, but it's a movie I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and it is No Country for Old Men, which came out in 2007, gets 8.1 on IMDb. It is a crime drama thriller, which is, I don't really review a lot of crime drama thrillers, but it's got a few elements of horror to it. I mean, it's definitely really suspenseful. And this movie's amazing. I mean, I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, easily. It's definitely a classic, and I can see why, critics loved it. I mean, I got, David Ansen from Newsweek said instant classic. I agree with that review. Flawless by Roger Ebert said this was flawless. I agree with that. And it's a great horror movie. If you haven't seen No Country for Old Men, I definitely recommend you check it out. It's a classic. And it's got pretty much everything going for it. I mean, you got makeup effects that are there, amazing storytelling, great direction, great script. It was all, I mean, great acting, great characters, memorable, definitely a very memorable movie. And it was just altogether a really, really good movie. I was really impressed with this movie because for a while I've been hearing about this movie. People telling me how good it was, and I was like, I haven't seen it yet. And I seen it, at a DVD shop, picked it up, and, I watched it. And I'd say I watched about 5 times. I mean, it's that good. I mean, it's one of those movies where you can rewatch it and it won't get boring. And it's a 2-hour and 2-minute movie. But the pace is never a problem. Because some movies are good, but sometimes the pace can really get in the way. Not here. I mean, the pace didn't even bother me. I didn't even notice it was that long, because I was so into the movie. And what it's about is you've got, first of all, it was directed by the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen. And they're known for making really good movies. A Serious Man, True Gift, Burn After Reading, which I seen that it was alright. I don't necessarily say it's a classic, but I thought it was okay. The Lady Killers, or Brother War Art Thou. Really big fan of that movie. The Big Lebowski, Fargo, Raising Arizona, Blood Simple, Miller's Crossing. Some of these movies I haven't seen yet, but I've heard about some of them. But I'd say I've only seen 2 of these movies. I've seen O Brother War Art Thou, and I've seen this movie. And I gotta say, I'm a really big fan of O Brother War Art Thou. I think it's really good. The storytelling's really good. The story itself is just classic. The whole movie is great, in my opinion. I really like O Brother War Art Thou. But this is probably a little bit better than O Brother War Art Thou, because it's got this intensity to it, and it's got this mood to it that is very dark. Because it's a weird movie, because yes, it is a crime drama thriller, but at the same time you got elements of a comedy in there where you got some fun moments, and you've also got some action in there, and you got some horror in there. So the basis of it is it's a crime drama thriller, but I would say altogether it's a mixture of different genres. Because yes, it is a very serious movie. There's also a lot of scenes that involve comedy, and not like laugh out loud, obnoxious comedy. Like little light moments here and there that really, sort of cut the tension. Well, not cut the tension, but sort of just, add a little bit of levity to the movie. And it's just shot well, and the score was great. Cinematography was great. This DVD is actually really good. Has features to it. Very, very clear picture. It actually seems like I'm watching a Blu-ray, but it's just a really good DVD. So I will pick this movie up on Blu-ray one day. That's a for sure fact. Is that if I find this on Blu-ray for cheap, I'm gonna buy it for Blu-ray because it deserves it. This is a freaking classic. But even the DVD is clear. So yeah, really good DVD. Has some really good features. You've got Working with the Coens, The Making of No Country for Old Men, and Diary of a County Sheriff. Really, really good features, and the story is freaking amazing. I mean, you've got this story about how Tommy Lee Jones is the sheriff, Ed Tom Bell, and you've also got Josh Brolin play Llewellyn Moss, who's pretty much this guy. You found that he was in Vietnam, and one day he's out hunting for deer and stuff like that, and he finds this pretty much what's left of a shootout, and he finds this briefcase with money in it, and he takes it, and he goes back to his house, and of course he feels like he did the wrong thing, so he's gonna take it back. And on his way back, you find out that there's this other gang there, and then now he's in trouble with that gang. And also you got Javar Bardem, Anton, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but I was gonna call it Antoine or Anton. But you pretty much find out that he was also involved with this deal, and Josh Brolin ended up stealing Javar Bardem's money, and now Josh Brolin has a gang after him, and he's got Javar Bardem after him. So he's pretty much on the run. He travels with his briefcase, and while he's being hunted down by the gang, he's also being hunted down by Javar Bardem. And then you got Tommy Lee Jones trying to figure out, where they're going, where they are, and try to catch up to them before anything happens. And you find out that Josh Brolin ends up getting killed, not by Javar Bardem, because he gets chased through the entire freaking movie. It's some of the most intense chase scenes and most suspenseful scenes ever done, in my opinion, film. Like, these are some really intense, really well shot, really well done suspenseful scenes where Josh Brolin is just being chased through the whole movie by Javar Bardem, and he finds little ways to escape. And then finally, towards the end of the movie, Javar Bardem ends up catching up to him. They had that shootout. He shoots Javar Bardem in the freaking leg, and then he gets shot, I think, in the shoulder. And he's all injured, but he's still trying to survive. And he still grabs the money and gets out. Well, I think, yeah, he grabs the money and gets out of there. And then you find out that Javar Bardem's like, I know where you live. He's like, I know where your girlfriend is, or his wife. He's like, I know where your wife is. He's like, there's no more point in running. And Josh Brolin pretty much is gonna fight Javar Bardem. And before he goes there, he ends up getting shot by the gang. And it was a really shocking scene because I didn't expect that. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, he's gonna go fight Javar Bardem. It's gonna be a shootout. No, they caught you off guard. I mean, it really did. It caught me off guard anyway, where he ends up getting shot by the other gang, and pretty much Javar Bardem finds his wife at the end of the movie, ends up killing her, and Tommy Lee Jones just is trying to follow along, trying to figure out why Josh Brolin is dead, and he ends up figuring out these different things, and it's really good. Tommy Lee Jones is a great sorry about that. Does a great performance in this movie. So does Javar Bardem. Josh Brolin does a great job in this movie. And you got a great cast as well, man. You got Tommy Lee Jones, Javar Bardem, Josh Brolin, Woody Harrelson, Garrett Dillahunt, Tess Harper, Barry Corbin, and just the whole movie is just nothing but nonstop awesomeness. I mean, you've got some great suspense, great tension to the movie. The movie has a great feel, and yeah, I mean, it is a very dark movie when you're watching it. There's a lot of dark stuff to it, but it also has a little bit of levity to it with some comedic humor. But the comedic humor never got in the way. It was just sort of naturally in there, and I like the way that it was shot. It was shot very realistically, and it was just altogether a really well done movie. It was well made, and I gotta say, it was directed well by the Coen brothers. And like I said, out of this and O Brother War Art Thou, I think I would, I would have this above O Brother War Art Thou, because I like the O Brother War Art Thou. I like that movie, but this movie was definitely a lot more intense. It was a lot more, had a lot more of action to it, and it's more of a thriller than O Brother War Art Thou, but I still enjoy that movie. but it has everything going for it: suspense, action, horror. It has great makeup effects. Very little times there's CGI in this movie, and there's just so many well done scenes. Um, like there's a scene where at the end of the movie where Javar Bardem's talking to the girl and he flips a coin, pretty much kind of like Two-Face, where he flips a coin. If he lands on heads or tails, it depends on which one he says, and he'll get killed. And he ends up killing Josh Brolin's wife, and he's in his car and he's just driving and he gets a freaking car accident. His freaking bone is out of his arm, and he's like paying this kid to give him a shirt, and he wraps around his arm and he walks away. Or that fantastic scene where they're in this hotel and pretty much Josh Brolin puts the suitcase in this vent and he's gonna go get a second room for across the hall. And you find out that Javar Bardem's like the room right next to Josh Brolin. And before he even goes in there, he just freaking pull up this freaking, it's like a shotgun but with the freaking silencer on it. It's like ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And I think it's like a shotgun or something like that. But it's got a big silencer on it. It's like ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And he walks in and shoots these people's arms off and shoots them behind doors, behind walls. It was like freaking crazy. And then it's suspenseful because you're like, is Josh Brolin going to get killed? Is he not going to get killed? And then you find out that Josh Brolin ends up getting the suitcase to the ventilation system. And, he ends up being safe. And you got that scene where he's also in this other hotel, and he hears Javar Bardem shoot the guy at the front desk, and then you have that scene where it's really suspenseful, where he's walking, or you hear Javar Bardem walking to the door, and he just got a shotgun waiting. And then a really, really cool idea that made this character separate from all the other bad guys in movie history was he has this. You remember in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, where you had Franklin? He's like, they got this big air gun now. It shoots a bolt into their skull and retracts it. Just boom, boom. That is what he uses in the movie. He uses this bolt gun, and it's really crazy too because there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where he's like, this guy's like, why'd you pull me over, man? He's like, just hold still. And freaking like it pokes a hole, like it freaking busts a hole through his freaking head, and he'll use it in the movie to freaking destroy locks and stuff like that. It really gave the character a signature weapon, and also even the silenced shotgun was a signature weapon. The way it sounded, the way it's like, choo choo choo, and just Javar Bardem did a good job playing a bad guy. I mean, he was really intense in the movie. He acted like he was a crazy guy, and yeah, played a good bad guy. And of course, Josh Brolin did a good job as Leon Moss, and Tommy Lee Jones did a good job as Ed Tom Bell. So I mean, the cast is great, the acting is great. Mention a couple more scenes that I really enjoyed, like just like the scene where towards the end of the movie, where Tom Lee Jones visits one of his friends, and there's a big long scene of dialogue there, but it's a really good scene. And just Tom Lee Jones at the end of the movie, that end scene that was really effective, where he's like, because he says he's gonna retire after his last case, or after his last, investigation, he's gonna retire. He's just sitting there in his kitchen with his wife, and he tells his wife about this dream he has. I can't remember the entire dream that he says or describes in the actual movie, but he's like, my dad was riding on the horse. He's like my dad set up a fire in the forest and it was snowing, and then I think it was like I wake up one night and my father's gone and I'm just sitting there in the forest by myself in the snow. It may not be exactly like that. Hang on, it might be on Wikipedia, that line of dialogue, because I want to get it because it was really good, and it really just hit the movie off with a very not eerie tone, but just a tone that was just like perfect end of the movie. Trying to find it. Trying to find out because I know that line's in here. just trying to find a line because it was really good. It set the movie off perfect. It was the perfect way to end the movie. I'm trying to figure out if it's on here or not. I don't know if they have the actual line of dialogue on here, but it might just be on IMDb. Honestly, I'm gonna check on IMDb real fast. But anyways, I mean, just the end of the movie when he tells that story, it was really effective. It really set the tone for the movie, and it was a perfect ending because it was like him telling that story, and then you think about the title, No Country for Old Men, and it just pieces it together. It's like, okay, that's what it means. So the movie cost $25 million. That's the budget. Just mention the budget real fast. The movie cost $25 million. Opening weekend made $1 million. So opening weekend wasn't really that much money, but in making up for it because it got $74 million in the USA. So cost $25 million, made $74 million. That wasn't like a big amount of money back, but it didn't bomb. So at least it didn't bomb, but it didn't gain a lot of money back. Trying to figure out if they have it on quotes. They might have it on quotes. Anyways, I'm not going to be able to find it because I know it's on here somewhere, but I have to look for it. But it was a really good line of dialogue, and it really set the movie off. And it was a story by Tommy Lee Jones, you know, about his father living out in the forest when it was snowing and stuff like that. It was really good. And it just, he says that, and he sits there, he just looks at his wife, and he's like, he has that like look of just sorrow on his face. He just like, and then the movie, you just hear clock in the background going tick tock, tick tock. You just hear clock in the background, and it's just like, and then boom, it ends. It was such a good ending because it just had an impact. It was like, whew, that was a very serious and really good movie that you just witnessed. It was sort of like that. It was like, whew, wow, you know. But yeah, I mean, No Country for Old Men. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch this movie. It's a classic. And I agree with everything that's good about it. Like, I agree with the Roger Ebert review. I agree with 8.1. I agree with it, man. This movie's a freaking classic. I loved it. Great movie. So that's my review on No Country for Old Men. And so yeah, thanks for watching my review. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.